It feels good. I mean, I think that every time you start a season, you're excited about the opportunity in front of you. I'm excited. We have a veteran group, and while we have a lot of new pieces, and bringing Breezy back, replacing a couple of other starters, we've been able to do some really good things and get some great work done in practice leading up to this point. So we're ready to play a game.
Your guard core had a lot of changeover from last year. How do you kind of assess the strengths that this group has in that end of the, or I guess both ends of the floor from a guard perspective, and areas where you may be able to work with the seasons in the room?
Well, I think one of our strengths is experience. Certainly on the perimeter, with Tiffany and Rachel and Mo, Dijonai having another year of experience as well. So certainly that's a strength of ours. Versatility, being able to play multiple lineups, strong defensive lineups that give us opportunities to do some different things on the defensive end of the floor, and strong offensive lineups that will space the floor and open things up for Breezy and AT. So I'm excited about that. The challenge is really meshing that and figuring out the right balance of who to have on the floor together, when, and what our substitution pattern will look like.
Can you talk about what it's like for Connecticut to be part of this phenomenon that is going to be tomorrow, and what it means for this team to have a spotlight, Disney and everything else that goes along with it, and every eye in the sports world on?
Yeah, I think it's exciting because of the movement, that we're in, and where the game is going. The eyeballs that are on the game. For those of us who have been around since almost the beginning, right? To see this kind of excitement is awesome. I'm excited for new fans to see our franchise. I'm excited for new fans to see our players. Everybody who's been there from the beginning certainly knows and understands what this organization and what these players are about, but you're getting a whole new set of eyeballs, and so I'm excited for them in that sense. But look, we also got to keep it in perspective, right? Like, this is one game in a long season, and our goal is to win a championship. So this is the first step for us in our goal. Yes, it's going to be awesome to play in front of sold out crowds. Probably everybody on our team at one point or another, whether it's college, has played in front of a sold out crowd, is playing in an exciting atmosphere, playing in the WNBA finals. A lot of our veterans have been in exciting atmospheres. It's not typically game one, but we got to keep the main thing, and this is the first game and the first step toward our ultimate goal of winning a championship. I think just number one, the standard that's set. Number two, just communication, clarity and communication, understanding where they're coming from, where we're coming from, challenging them in ways that we can now because of building trust and building that relationship over the course of a year. But more than anything, we've got a group of pros that are super competitive, and now we know and understand that we want to get to another level. We laid the foundation. Now it's about continuing to build on that.
Do you notice the difference of urgency with this team? Maybe that wasn't there this year, especially knowing that next year is going to look a lot different.
This team always has urgency. I noticed that after the first few days of practice, and we didn't have our core three, like our big three weren't here last year, the first few days of training camp. As soon as they got there, you could tell the urgency. You could sense the intensity, that they felt, the urgency that they felt. So this is a group that no matter what, there's always a sense of urgency.
DJ's part of that PCC game for us, for you guys. Where do you want to start growing more this year?
I think first and foremost, being disciplined on the defensive end of the floor. Last year she came in and she gave us a spark. She created a lot of turnovers, and now she's going to be playing for longer periods of time at once. So staying disciplined, not getting into foul trouble, making sure that every time she's guarding someone that she's got an elite kind of intensity and mentality. Like, there's no chance to rest when you're on the floor. I think offensively, just finding some comfort in her ability to do what she does well, knocking down open shots, decision making when she attacks the rim. I think that's the next level growth for her. She's going to get to the rim a lot. Her off-ball movement is really, really good. So continuing to do those things.
You're one of the top players, not only in the WNBA, but maybe in the history of the league and the team, and yet her name recognition when compared to some other players in this league isn't there. Why do you suppose that is? Is there something that the franchise can do about that? I mean, it doesn't seem like she cares that much, but why is that?
I don't know. It's a good question. She's kind of one that's quiet and reserved and, doesn't seek the spotlight. I think from a fan perspective, fans are in awe of who scores the most points. I mean, it's just the way that it is. It's the nature of sport. Very few people are remembering the kicker in football, right? But they're remembering the quarterback, and then maybe the running back, and then maybe the wide receiver. So it's just, AT is just one of those players who does a lot of things really, really well and is elite in a lot of areas, but maybe not the things that are flashy enough for the average fan to be enamored with. And so, good, bad, or ugly, it's the nature of the beast. But she doesn't care. She wants to win. And, I think our organization last year especially put the best foot forward in her campaign for MVP. She's uncomfortable in that, where we kind of push her forward, right? But we're going to continue to do that because she is an MVP caliber player every year. She's an MVP type of player. You take her off our team, we're not the same team. The things that she does that show up in the stat sheet are elite. The things that she does that don't show up in the stat sheet are elite and allow us to win ball games. And so, in my mind, that's one of the reasons that I'm really excited about a new audience, the new WNBA fans to watch her play.
How does her role look this? I mean, I know she's had plenty of playing experience together with Reed, but in your system, how does her role look with Reed back on the court? Is it an opportunity for her to have to do less things and be more efficient almost?
I don't know if there's ever a time where AT is going to be doing less things. I think it'll be just different things. It's not going to be the same space with Breezy on the floor that she had a year ago. So, using her a little bit more off the ball in some of our actions, utilizing her. We're still going to use her to initiate offense, but in different ways that she can facilitate, with Breezy. Different ways that we can create mismatches and opportunities. Different areas that we can open up the floor based on how people are guarding her as well. So, it's building into that. Certainly recognizing innately where those opportunities are, as opposed to, with the ball in her hands, and then adjusting based on how much Breezy's on the floor or not on the floor. Because, we know Breezy's going to play, but we still have to be cognizant of working her way back in, of the long game instead of the short game. So there's going to still be plenty of opportunities when the floor is open for AT to go to work.
Was there a time last maybe 6 months or a year where you said to yourself, I can't believe our game has grown to where it is right now?
Not really. I think that those of us who have been in this for a long, and look, I've been going to Final Four since I was 8 years old. My aunt took me to almost every Final Four. I think I missed Kansas City and LA, and that might have been like 92 and 90 something else, right? So being in this game for so long and understanding and knowing the greatness, of when I was watching back then, the Dawn Staleys and then the Cheryl Swoops, the Lisa Leslies, the Tina Thompsons, those guys, and then you get to the Maya Moores and the Brianna Stewarts, and I mean, I'm missing a ton of names, right? But the evolution of the game, and I think back to the start of the WNBA and some of the players that I played with as a rookie, Andrea Stenson, Rhonda Mapp, Vicky Bullitt. Our players don't even know who they were. But those players sacrificed playing years and years and years overseas so that the WNBA could exist. And then you think back even before that, the Cheryl Millers and the Nancy Liebermans, they were always elite players. And now we're at a time, and on both jobs that I have, it's always about, hey, like, we got to position ourselves to where the eyeballs can see us, to where the common fan that we always talk about can find us instead of having to search for us. Back in the day, it was searching the back page of the newspaper, right? Now it's putting us in primetime locations on television where people can see us and people can find us. It's utilizing social media to try to continue to move the needle in terms of branding. And when that happened, we always said it's like fishing, right? You just got to get them here once, and then they're going to keep coming back. You got to bait them, right? Get them here once, then they'll keep coming back. And it's true. So when you can see us, when you can find us, I think you recognize now how great this game is, how great these players are, how much they deserve the opportunity to be showcased, and how awesome this league is. And I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is that the players who came before are finally getting recognized. We're going back and we're talking about the players who laid the foundation, for this game, for this league and for the opportunities that our young people are able to benefit from right now.
We'll go to Emily and then one more question on Zoom.
So how quickly sort of the growth this year has happened? Do you guys have to do anything differently in terms of like how you're navigating the media, how you're navigating security, even just your situation with charters and things when that's starting yet?
I don't know anything. I'm always the last one to know. Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to be more mindful. We have to be more mindful when it comes to security. We have to be more mindful for our, like, telling our players, like, it's not business as usual all the time, right? Like, we've got to be mindful of where we're going, of who's around, of what we're doing. That's something we've always discussed, but I think it goes to another level, certainly. We've got to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to security for our players. There's no doubt about that. We have to anticipate. We can't react. And I think, from that standpoint, we've got to continue to think outside the box. I don't know anything about charters. I don't know anything about where we are with that yet. I'm hopeful because our travel is tough. I'm hopeful that it comes for us sooner rather than later. That's an added bonus, an added benefit. It'll be great to have direct flights for us. But again, it's like, I was part of the very first collective bargaining agreement where all we wanted as players was insurance all year long, right? So to see where we've come, I'm just so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so pleased. It was the best day ever when they announced that we were having charters. And I'm just so happy for our teams and our players and all the players in this league.
All right, last question. We'll go to Andrew on Zoom. One question, please.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Andy, when you prepare for an opponent, what are the three most important statistical measures that you look at?
First of all, from a team defensive standpoint, we want to make sure that we're forcing teams into low percentage shots. So we'll look at, where are their most high percentage looks as a team? Where are their most high percentage looks as individuals? How can we force them into lower percentage shots? How can we get the players that we want taking shots to take shots? As far as defensive game planning, we'll look at tendencies and field goal percentages and looking at the numbers in a little bit of a deeper dive. Now that there are so many analytics available. The second thing for us is, and this isn't necessarily a number standpoint, but looking to see where we can get high percentage looks for our players on the offensive end. What are some of the actions that teams have trouble defending? Who do we want to put in the actions? Who do we want to get shots and when and where? So we really take a deep dive into being strategic about those things. It makes it a little bit easier for us that we have a veteran group that we can talk through that. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to being disciplined enough to execute your schemes on defense, to finding ways to stay in flow and get high percentage looks on offense, and then you got to make shots. And the rebounding battle. We were not a good rebounding team a year ago. We've got to be better in that area. And so that's something that we'll continue to look at.
No, don't start this.
I don't feel well, so
She'll be taking all questions.
That's a day.
Yeah. So guys, whenever you have a question for, it's a specific question.
Start in the room. Alexa.
Hi guys. Just with Bree Jones working her way back, how do you think that'll affect what you guys can do on the court in Steph's system? I know you played a little bit with her last year before she went down, but what opportunities do you see for her?
Yeah, of course, we had to pivot last year with her going out, and before she got hurt, we really started hitting a stride and understanding the offense. But she brings a different dimension that we didn't have last season. We played a lot of space and kick, but sometimes you just need to be able to throw the ball in and get an easy one. So having Bree back in that aspect, and defensively, we had her guarding fives last year, so having her back, she covers a lot for us, so it feels good with her back out there.
You go ahead. After we obviously had a focus on tomorrow in the season, but looking at the next year, your roster's going to look completely different. 7 of you guys, including you two, are unrestricted free agents. There's an expansion draft. Do you feel like there's a sense of urgency this year that's going to be different than last year or years past?
No, I feel like it's the same. I feel like, of course, the ultimate goal is always, the same at the end. But of course, like you said, we are free agents. But I don't even know if I even thought about about that because this season hasn't started yet. But I don't think it, add more pressure or anything like that. I mean, the ultimate goal is the ultimate goal.
AT, what do you make of the hype surrounding this game?
It's another game for us. I mean, it's another season. First game, we're excited in that aspect, but at the same time, we get a playoff atmosphere, and that's something we love to play. And so for us, nothing changes. We approach every game the same, and just another year to start the season for us.
Tarika on Zoom. Go ahead, Tarika.
Tarika.
Y'all. I look at this team and I think this is probably, if not the most deep team in the W right now, just based off the experience that you guys have, the weapons that you guys now have on the bench as well. Just kind of talk about how you're approaching this year, knowing that you've got some solid players behind you that have not only done this, but have done this at a high level for quite a while.
We're behind you, so tell us.
Come on,
Solid
AT.
She needs to do something.
We solid players behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the challenge in every year is having a bench. And I think we do have a deep bench and a lot of experience. And I think the challenge early is just trying to figure out what everyone's strengths in and how to use it to the best of our ability. But when it does click, it will be something that is hard to guard. But right now we're just leaning into everyone's experience and figuring out as we go.
A little pat in the room.
So you guys have this incredible personal relationship. So A, how are the wedding plans coming? And B, how does that personal relationship impact how you work with each
I
other?
don't think you
on
want
the
me to
court?
answer that.
He asked me the other day. So
I don't think you want me to answer
That's my
that.
answer. Sorry.
I don't know if you want to hear my answer. We got a game tomorrow. No, wedding plans are kind of on hold because we are, one, focused on the season, but also two, yeah, she's gonna be on the Olympic team, so that's the hope. So you want her to enjoy that. That's a once in a lifetime experience, and that's something that is like set in stone on a date, and a wedding can be adjusted. So this is her time. I want her to have that attention, and we focus on the wedding later. So that's where we are with wedding plans. But personal relationship, yeah, kind of. It's a gift and a curse, right? Because there's times that we go at it, we're competitors, so there's times that we do bump heads on the court, but once we walk off the court and, outside of those lines, that's it about basketball. But on the court, I just feel like she knows me, I know her. She makes me better, she makes my job easier. I feel like we had a practice without her the other day, and I completely lost it, because I just felt like it doesn't run smooth for me personally, because me, her and Bree Jones been playing together for a long time, so we just kind of feed off each other. But yeah, this thing don't work without this one right here, so for me.
We'll go to Emily and then one last question on Zoom.
For either of you guys, how do you feel like your leadership styles with Bree's kind of complement?
Listen, it's like high, she's like the firecracker, and then I'm like the warm in the middle, because sometimes I can give, both, and Breezy is just the calm. So we're literally three different people when it comes to like personalities, and Breezy kind of is the one that you go to when you don't want, the high and the medium. She's the nice one, always the same, always smiling, so yeah, we really, really balance each other out.
All right, and last question will go to Brad on Zoom. Brad.
Yes, hi ladies, how are you? Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. Both of you have spoken about the gritty culture that embodies the team. How have the off-season acquisitions like Rachel and everyone, how are they going to be fitting into that team culture?
Yeah, I mean, Rachel played here in Connecticut, so she's familiar with, how we are here. I think, it was a huge piece for us. Knowing Rachel's game and how she is as a leader, especially coming off the bench will be huge for us. And, going after Tiff Mitchell and the Moriahs are all veteran players that, I feel like have been at the cusp of breakouts in their careers, but just haven't been in, the right positions, right situations. And I think that's what we do well in Connecticut is take what they're best at and maximize it. So just looking forward how that develops over time.
I thank you.
Like to start. Alexa, go ahead.
Hi.
Bree, can you just walk us through what your training camp has been like so far? What you've been able to do? It seems like you're going to be playing tomorrow and everything, and just how you feel physically and mentally from that.
Yeah, no, training camp has been like just gradually, adding things in, just gradually, getting more minutes, getting up and down a little bit more. But definitely playing tomorrow. And then for me, just I'm excited mentally, just trying to still I've only been playing, I guess, 5-on-5 for 2 weeks now. It's like tough when I think about it like that, but I'm like I want to be where I was, but it's like I haven't been playing for that long. But just giving myself grace that way, and then but still being ready when I'm out there and giving 100%.
Well, just having a close friend as you get used to go through some rehab process. Have you leaned on AT at all, just for advice on how to go throughout this process and coming back to?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because there's been times where I'm frustrated, and she's like, "Brie, it's okay. Like you haven't been doing this for that long. Like it's been great. She's been giving me a good perspective on that in that way. Because there's definitely been times in training camp where I'm just frustrated with myself. I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like it's not that hard of a situation that I'm in practice or whatever. But I just it's not natural at the moment. So just still trying to get the feel of the game, because you can't get that experience playing basketball without playing. So. Thank you.
Those bigger brands, bigger mainstream, not even just brands, like we get tuned into the women's and invest in players like yourself.
It's awesome. It's super exciting. I think it's that time, it's been leading up to it gradually over the past few years, and obviously it's just taking off now. Every commercial you see on TV of these NBA playoffs or whatever is a women's basketball player in it, and it's really, really cool to see, and it's great to be a part of.
Emily? For you, AT and you were just talking about how you kind of compliment them leadership-wise as the calm one. So, I guess how do you feel like you fit into that dynamic between the three of you? And Dijonai, what is kind of from your guys' perspective, what are the three of them like as a group?
Oh yeah, no, I think leadership-wise we're very different, all of us. So I think just having that, being that that kind of glue person to be able to calm people down and give another perspective. I think it's something that's needed, and having those different, you need all of those perspectives on the team. But just being that person to bring everything together, I embrace that role.
Yes, Bree is the sweet one. We love when Bree comes and corrects us. It's the best.
Go to Tarika on Zoom.
Hey guys, Dijonai, this question's for you. This is year 4 for you now. Every year you've added a new piece to your game. Every year something about you is different. What are you looking forward to most this season in terms of how you've elevated your game and yourself in this off season?
I think I don't want to do anything that is outside of myself, but I think I just have to do everything at a higher, rate. I'm going to be needed more offensively and defensively. So all the things that I've done in the past, I think I'm going to just keep trying to do, but at a higher level. I'm going to be guarding, and I want to be guarding the best guard on the opposing team every single night, and that takes a different level of focus. It takes a different level of discipline. I can't get into foul trouble, just different things like that, just being more mature in the decisions that I make on the court. And then offensively, just knowing kind of the spots to be in. And obviously we have our big three, but cutting and trying to get people open, screening, just trying to be in the right place at the right time, and also just doing the little things that I do, whether that's getting to the rim, getting us extra possessions, 50-50 balls, things like that. But just doing everything at a higher rate, pace, intensity, everything.
Dijonai, speaking of best guards on the opposing team, there's a guard, I don't know if you've heard of Caitlin Clark. I assume you'll get some of the assignment. What do you guys to do to limit what she does and then to limit what they're doing?
I mean, 7 o'clock tomorrow, you'll see, but you know, obviously we focus on, I mean, we focus on the opposing team, of course, but at the end of the day, you know, they have to guard us just as much as we have to guard them. And I think that wear and tear, that physicality of running her off ball screens and running her, you know, just being physical with her on both ends of the floor, it wears people down. Defensively, you know, we scout, take away the things that people like to do, and she's gonna score. She's a really good player, and you know she's gonna get to her spots a couple times. But we have to limit those. We have to make every shot, you know, not her. The first shot that she gets can't be a wide open three. You know what I mean? It has to be tough, and then eventually she might get one, but it's gonna be after she sees 3 or 4 that don't go down. You know what I mean? So if you make your first few shots, the basket gets really big for you. So we definitely have to come out being super aggressive and getting her off her spots.
We'll go to Brad on Zoom.
Yes, ladies, how are you? Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. Can you two speak of what the coach's message was during training camp and preseason to kind of get you guys, you know, in that mentality for tomorrow night's game?
I think the messaging has just been, you know, we're focused on us. You know, we're trying to get better, you know, in this short amount of time in training camp and trying to learn each other and adding new pieces and still build on what the foundation that we laid last year. And I think in doing that, you know, we're going to be successful. You know, we've had a great, you know, the last 3 or 4 seasons, we've been semifinals, finals team. So just building on the foundation that we've already laid and continuing to grow and build and, you know, clean up some those little things that's, you know, keeping us from getting over the hump. But I think it's still, you know, it's been 2 weeks together and we're still, you know, learning and growing together. But, you know, we're ready for this first game.
Any other questions? Alyssa? Dijonai, you guys have some new guards coming in this year. Just from what you've seen so far from that group, what kind of strengths do you feel they bring and what kind of areas do you feel like you all can kind of continue to work on throughout the season?
Yeah, we do have a lot of new pieces. Luckily, they all have experience, and so that's always good to have coming into a new team and learn when people are learning a new offense and things like that. But I think it's cool. We all have very different strengths and very different things that we need to work on. So we can really, you know, play off of each other. Some people's strengths, other people's guard strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa. So I think that's a really good way to, you know, we complement each other. And it's just about, like Bree said, learning each other still. It's only been a couple weeks and we're figuring out where people like the ball, who likes to cut, who likes to come off, like just the little things that come with time. But they end up being big things in the long run, but we're just trying to figure out those little things. I mean, there's things we have to work on, but I'm not gonna tell y'all so y'all can tell them. But yeah.
All right, last question will go to Brendan on Zoom. Go ahead, Brendan.
Hey, this is for Bree Jones. Over the course of your career now in Connecticut, you've been the ultimate teammate as far as sacrifice. You came off the bench a couple years ago. You were a most improved player. Where does that level of, you mentioned how you're that calming presence, where does that come from going back to when you were younger in your career?
I mean, I think it's just always, I mean, I just like to win, and whatever that, you know, whatever that means is different every year, and whatever the team needs from me, I'm willing to be that person and try to, you know, be a chameleon that way, and that if I need to come off the bench and be that president, that spark off the bench, if I need to be a cheerleader, like my first couple of years on the sidelines, and, you know, give everything in practice, and then, you know, keep stepping up whenever, you know, my number is called. I think it's just, you know, doing whatever it takes to win, because I'm gonna do it.
All right, thanks guys. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
So the questions in the room that Zoom. Whoever wants to start. Maggie will start.
What's been like having Steph now for a second year? Do you feel like there's a level of comfortability or a level of just familiarity with just how she runs things?
Yeah, it's comfortable. Just I feel like first year everybody was trying to get to know each other, learn each other, and now that she's comfortable, I'm more comfortable with her, watching film with her, talking with her outside of practice and stuff. So yeah, it feels good.
Well, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
Can you just talk about what you bring to this team and where you expect your role to be, and what you like most about being in that team.
Yeah, I mean, I always bring a defensive mindset. Everybody knows that. I try to pick up 94 feet. That's my thing. I think for us, this team is really good when we get out in transition. So turning the ball over, really getting up, being pesky on the court. And I love being back in Connecticut. You know, you go to school here, you come back. Obviously, it's a different town, a different city or whatever, but it's still the same type of love. So excited to be here.
Just how are you feeling physically not getting to play in the preseason game? How has that kind of shaped your last few days in terms of getting ready for the opener?
Yeah, I mean, had surgery in the off season, so it's just kind of taking those rest days. You need them. When you're coming back like that, you have to take those days. But I mean, I'm fine. I'm excited to be with my teammates. They do a really good job of keeping me energized and positive mindset with that. So I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Ty, what's it like having Bree? I know she's still kind of working her way back, but just having her back on the floor, having her leadership back on the floor, what did it
Amazing. I mean, Bree's one of the nicest person that you ever meet. And then she's dominant in the inside. So not having her last year, a lot of people had to take on that ownership of just what she brought to the table and try to fill that void. But now that she's back, pick and roll game's gonna be crazy. Rebounding's gonna be good. Just having her back, I'm excited for her.
All right, we'll go to Brad on Zoom. Brad, go ahead.
Yes, ladies, how are you? Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. Can you two speak to what you've seen from the team during training camp and in the preseason games about the chemistry and how that has been coming along?
Yeah, I think it's always new when you bring back returners and new people. I think for us, every day we tried to get better and not take a step backwards. Learning a new system for me, I think it was fun trying to do this positionless basketball and realizing you can play anywhere on the court. I think as a point guard, it's our job to know every position anyway. So for me, it's kind of just understanding pin down screens, flare screens. It's really just basketball. But the chemistry is growing every day, and I think we're going to continue to get better one day at a time.
Go to Brendan on Zoom. Brendan.
Hey, this one's for Ty. I know you spent a lot of time in the market during the off season, training and whatnot. What was that like, and what did that mean for you to take another step with this being your second year coming up with the Sun?
It was good. I mean, I worked with Keith a lot in the progression. We worked on just coming off the ball screens, finding my mid range, pace. Just knowing what Coach Steph wanted me to do in the offseason was good. I finally got to just take a rest with my body and work on things that I actually want to work on instead of going overseas and just playing and it being a continued cycle. So it was good just to know exactly what my coaches wanted me to work on and being able to work on it.
Thanks, Brendan. Tarika.
Brendan actually set me up. I didn't even know he was going to ask that. So this is a follow-up to that for you, Ty. Last year, I looked at you as the person who I used to say all the time, you are always ready anytime your number's called. This year, knowing that your role may look a little different, how do you contain and maintain that mentality of knowing I still have to bring the fire, I still have to be ready, especially given your off-season workout and training?
Yeah, I mean, it's just being confident, honestly. Either if you're coming off the bench, if you're starting, you're always got to be ready whenever your number is called. So I think that was like my model last year. So if it's called earlier, me just staying ready is the main focus and the main thing that I'm going into this season.
Any other questions in the room? We'll go Pat and then Alexa.
So this team has been known for years for its defense. Can you guys talk about specifically tomorrow, you have Egbo coming in, and what, obviously the eyes of everybody is going to be on this game tomorrow, so what do you want to show them in terms of perimeter defense, and especially against her?
Ty, I got it. Yeah, again, like I said, we really just want to make it hard. Really put a lot of pressure on the ball, have high hands. Obviously, everybody knows she's a really good shooter. So just try to make her uncomfortable. It's a team effort in everything we do, always. You know, I think for us, the biggest thing is having our trust on the backside help. But for us, again, just being pesky, being up in everybody's faces, having high hands, talking loud and making it difficult.
Yeah, for both of you, this team in general has always kind of had more of like a front court identity just because of AT and DB and Bree. But with both the returners like you, Ty, and like the newcomers like you, Mo, what do you think the backcourt can really do this year? How can this backcourt really take a step up and help this team really contend for a championship?
I think just like what Mo said, she likes picking up 94 feet, so I'm gonna match that energy as well. Just being a pest, like, I mean, we're a lot shorter than most, so we gotta be in people's space, fight over screens, just trying to disrupt the energy, the flow of just their offense and stuff like that. So I think that's what we're gonna bring.
Any other questions? All right, you guys are set.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Rachel, Dan, and Tiffany Mitchell will start in the room and then move to Zoom. Who'd like to start in the room? Alexa, go ahead.
For you both, I know Rachel, you're back in Connecticut, but being new to this system, to Steph, what are things been like so far at training camp and getting ready for tomorrow?
I'll start. I mean, it's been fun, you know, competing these past couple weeks in training camp. I think it's going to be just fun to get out there and play against somebody else, especially on the stage, and all the eyes are on us tomorrow. So just excited to get going.
Yeah, I mean, off of Tiff, like it's been really fun to compete, and we have such a fun group. We're veteran, so I look forward to just playing, and we have such a deep group too, so that's gonna make it more fun and it's a lot more challenging to play against.
Maggie, pretty originally, you've been here before, you've been to other teams before, in front of teams as well. How do you just describe the Suns' urgency, right? They have been so close so many times and haven't quite done it. How do you just, what does it feel like?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's always like this sense of urgency and something you're kind of missing out on. I mean, I played with the Sun one year when we made it to the finals in 2019, and it's not the greatest feeling. You know, you're right there, and I mean, every player wants to win a championship, so like everyone should have that kind of sense of urgency all the time. So that's something that we got to always compete with every single day.
Rachel, you're one of the best three-point shooters in the league tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, can you just talk about that kind of across the court, there's going to be another great three-point shooter, and what you guys want to show in terms of, you know, taking the focus maybe to Connecticut rather than
Yeah, I mean, just playing our game. I mean, defensively, we're going to make things tough. We're going to try to make every shot hard and play our game. We're not really worried as much about, I don't know how I'm trying to say it. We're worried about ourselves. We're going to focus on ourselves, and, you know, I'm going to let that thing fly and I hope that thing goes in. And we're all going to do what we do best and play to our roles, and that's just what I do. And, yeah, I'm going to let that thing fly.
We'll go to Brad on Zoom. Brad.
Yes, ladies, how are you? Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. Both of you had a combined 27 points in your preseason game against New York. Can you speak to how you guys played and how you are fitting into the offensive scheme?
Well, shout out to Rach for holding it down, carrying us. No, I mean, just kind of just speaking on to what Rachel said, just playing our roles. So I know when I come in, what's asked of me. So it's just kind of maximizing what I do best. When it's my opportunity, I just read, you know, throughout the offense on where I can get my shots, but also just be effective while I'm out there on the court.
I think what's fun about our group and like me and Tiff is we're very different players, and there's gonna be nights when like maybe I'm scoring more and there's gonna be nights when she's scoring more, and like we just complement each other in that way, and we've played together so we know how to play with each other and where we're best and putting each other in the right position, so that makes it a lot more fun too.
I thought you
Brendan,
ladies.
go ahead. Thank you. Brendan.
Hey, Tiffany, what did having the winter you had in Dallas with Athletes Unlimited, what do you think that did for you as far as to build up this for this coming season?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, you know, had me come into the season with a lot more confidence, you know, coming off of a season in Minnesota where I felt like I was playing out of position most of the year. Just kind of getting back to what I'm used to doing and playing my normal position in AU just made me feel comfortable coming into this season because, you know, Steph asked the same thing of me. She's not asking me to do anything that I'm not used to doing. So, I mean, I think that's just the comfortability of it. It's just knowing that I don't have to try to do anything that I'm not used to doing.
This team has some, you guys are like some of the newer guards, obviously there's some returning guards, but it's like a pretty different group in general from last year. So what do you feel like the identity of this backcourt group would be given your respective skill sets?
I think like even more versatility. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the biggest thing. Like we can play at all different positions. I mean, I know Tiff's not gonna like necessarily play the one because she doesn't want to, but like she could, she could bring
Right.
it up.
If
She
I
can
need to,
initiate.
clearly y'all saw last year, I can.
She can initiate offense so that I don't always have to. AT can initiate offense. DB, I mean, sometimes even Breezy if she
Yeah.
wants. But like, it's just fun. We're able to play in so many different positions and play off each other. It's just like so hard to guard.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like maybe where it's changed a little bit from last year is just like the versatility has taken another step forward.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? All right, thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you on Zoom.
We'll save this for. No, I'm gonna come over here.
Okay, we have Olivia Nelson-Ododa and Astou. We'll start in the room and then we'll go to Zoom. Pat, go ahead.
Then can you just talk about where you have most improved your game over last year, what you think your contribution is going to be this year, and how much is Breezy helped you?
So I would say, just when I was in China, I feel like I really improved on the physicality aspect of my game. I really made a focus on getting stronger, and I think that really contributed to finishing better, creating more contact in my moves, and just overall just feeling a lot better on the court and feeling more confident dealing with, especially with bigger people, bigger post players too. So I would say that I probably found that part to be where I improved in probably the most. I think obviously there's the offensive end of that too. I think I was able to experiment a lot over there, really just try and do different things. And like I said, experiment, especially in a game situation and game setting. So I really try to take advantage of that too as well. And then, coming back with Breezy and her just kind of getting into the swing of things and the groove of things, I think she's been instrumental in just instructing me on things, that I need to do this year, and especially working with her and alongside her. Just hearing that voice and that instruction has been huge for me too.
What have your early impressions been of Connecticut, Steph White system, and just getting kind of acclimated to everything as the Connecticut Sun?
I mean, the first thing, so I'm so excited to be here in Connecticut, and the trust they have on me to call me to be here on the team. And like I said, it's gonna be a little bit different because it's a new team, a new player. So also the way the way they are playing. So I'm not gonna be the real 4 or real 5. So I can be anywhere on the court. So I'm just trying to figure out to fit on the team, doing everything as my best to help them.
For both of you guys playing in a system that's as positionless as Steph's is, how different is that for you guys as bigs? How much have you had to adapt your game, getting used to what Steph's running this year?
Yeah, I mean, we've had to adjust just by kind of breaking out of old habits. We're always taught how to just run to the rim and then post up on the block. And now Steph is like, listen, that's still available, but you can fill out to the corner. You can, set, up screens, hammers, pin downs, moving just without the ball, and feeling okay just coming up high in the trail spot or being down low in the corner. So I think just trying to rearrange, and I was even in the system last year, and it still is a little bit different for me, just having different people on the team now this year and being able to read off of them too and figuring that out. So I think just, like I said, figuring out each other while still working on that positionless basketball and working on, where we can best fit in the system, has definitely just been one of the huge things that we've been working on, I would say, in the past 2 weeks in training camp.
Brad on Zoom.
Yes, hi ladies, how are you? Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. This question is for Olivia. Can you speak to what you soaked in from playing last year, going into the off season, and how you gained your confidence up? What did you do during the off season to get you ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, earlier I touched on just working on physicality, working on strength training, and getting my body kind of where I wanted it to be. And then I would say just experimenting was huge for me in game situations overseas. Being able to work on things that I normally hadn't before, getting to try different things in a game situation was it was just beneficial for me, just because I was able to practice that at a full speed against like competition, and it's different from when you're just training at home by yourself.
Coach Rika on Zoom next.
Hey, ladies, this question is for Astou. Having played on a team that's giving you a championship, you have that championship experience. How do you bring that and that feeling here to Connecticut that has been so close over the last couple of years?
I mean, the first thing is just like as my expression I know is just be like to stay together and playing as a team, because like we know the season is gonna be like long, and anything like gonna happen, we just need to like lock in, knowing like these ups and down, just like don't worry about everything like around like outside the court, because it's gonna be long season, like a tough game, like back to back. Just like stay together, helping each other, and focus and do everything like we need to do on the court 100%.
You've been kind of get on even a week yet, or how has just been your dress for the training camp and the Suns franchise?
What was the question?
You've only been Connecticut in a week. I've not been in Connecticut not even a week yet. How's just been your adjustment to training camp so far in the franchise?
I think the biggest adjustment is just the way they play, how fast they play, the tempo, obviously the physicality, and just playing with a lot of vets. I feel like that definitely gives an edge, but also trying to stay up to speed with the way they're thinking and just the stuff they're doing. So I would just, the tempo and just how their IQ level is a lot different than probably some of the other teams I've played on, but just trying to stay on course with everything.
You guys have the WNBA's power couple team leaders in DeWanna and Tiffany. Can you talk about what they bring, what the dynamic is when they're out on the court? Are they kind of do they take you guys do you take them as your leaders and you follow them? So how does it work?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a loaded question right there. I mean, their leadership, you really can't put it into words just how dynamic it is. You have both of them with just so much experience, and them working together, and then also just leading us. It makes us want to step up our game, it makes us want to make sure that we're on page with them, that we know exactly what we're doing when we step out on the court with them, because they expect so much of us. It doesn't matter if you're the last person off the bench or the first person off the bench with them. They expect the same no matter what, no matter who you are. And those expectations you definitely want to live up to. It makes you want to become a better player. And I think it just ups your intensity when you're on the court, and just know like it's a good feeling to know that you have just some dogs with you on the court, and just those type of people that would just go to war with you. And it's fun playing with them. It's fun. It's a great experience, and their leadership is invaluable.
Alexa?
For any of you, there's been a lot of talk so far today about just how deep this team is, especially with some of these new additions like you two. So how do you feel like that can really help you guys in terms of what your long-term goals of the championship?
Can you repeat the first question, the first part of it?
There's been a lot of talk about how deep this team is
Oh.
this year, with the new additions like included. So how can that help you with your long-term goals of the championship?
I think we have great pieces with this team right now, great new additions, and a lot of people that have experience, like Astou, and just like her experience with a championship team overseas, and bringing that type of knowledge to a team that already loves competing on a high level like that. So I think those are bringing people like that, brings invaluable experience, and it's key just to have those pieces with us, throughout our journey and trying to win this year.
Any questions? Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And that concludes our our Zoom. So thank you everyone on Zoom for attending, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.